The air in Maycomb was a thick, humid blanket by the summer of 1939. Europe was holding its breath, waiting for the first shoe to drop. But in the Deep South, the Depression's pinch was still the most immediate worry. Scout, now 13, was entering that awkward phase of adolescence, too tall for a girl, too restless for a lady, and far too observant for anyone's comfort. Jem, 17, was preparing for college, his arm long healed, his faith in the jury system forever fractured, but his belief in his father, Atticus, absolutely unyielding. The black ledger, the one Sheriff Tate had brought that long-ago night, had vanished into Atticus's safe, but its shadow remained. Atticus had quietly traveled up to Montgomery and then Washington, D.C. several times over the preceding 4 years. He called them legal consultations. Scout knew better. They were about the delicate cargo and the rail lines. This summer, the mystery returned with the arrival of a seemingly unremarkable man named Mr. Elias Vance, a civil engineer from New Jersey, come down south to map a proposed expansion of the Southern Railway lines through Maycomb County. He was a northerner, quiet and well-mannered, and the town took him for a harmless, if slightly eccentric tourist of the region's decaying infrastructure. He took a room at Miss Maudie's boarding house. But Mr. Vance wasn't interested in railroads. He was interested in the ground beneath them. One scorching afternoon, Jem and Scout found Mr. Vance standing silently at the old Robinson place, a few miles past the town limits. The house was empty now, the porch sagging, but the ground around it was thick with honeysuckle and the memory of a tragedy. Mr. Vance held a surveyor's rod that seemed oddly heavy. He wasn't looking at the building, he was looking at the dirt. "You the Finch children, aren't you?" Mr. Vance's voice was reedy, carrying the clipped cadence of the North. "Yes, sir," Jim replied, polite but wary. Mr. Vance pointed the steel tip of his rod at the rail embankment 20 yards from the dilapidated house. "Tell me, son, how often did the freight trains stop here, back in 35? Jem squinted. "Never. They slowed, maybe. This was just a spur line to the old lumber mill. That closed in 32. No reason for a stop." "No designated stop, perhaps," Mr. Vance corrected, a muscle ticking in his jaw. "But a secret stop." Scout stepped forward. "Mr. Vance, sir, are you working for the railroad or the government?" He gave her a quick, evaluating glance that reminded her of Atticus. "Let's just say I'm working for the history books, Miss Finch. And history is messy. It's what people forget to write down." He knelt and plunged the tip of the rod into the soft embankment. He moved 3 steps and plunged it again. He was listening, not to the sound, but to the resistance. See, the Southern Railway ran north to D.C., then split to New York and Chicago.